Right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sanko here. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a really long time since I made a video, and but this time it's going to be kind of an unfortunate one, as the mining market is dying, the crypto market is still low, but there is hope for the future, of course. However, the topic, as you can already read, is the home GPU mining is dead, and what should you do next? Now, mind you, this is entirely my opinion, but I still feel it's a little objective regardless, and I'm talking about the home mining experience. Whether you got one graphics card, 3, 10, 20, not those big operations that are using very low cost electricity, whether you're in Quebec or Iceland or in China, something like that. Now, those are a good idea if you happen to have a lot of graphics cards. There are lots of hosting services out there that you can utilize and find yourself in a position where you're spending a lot less on electricity by just shipping all your graphics cards off to a host or something like that. But for the home miner, it's fairly objectively dead at the moment, and so I want to talk about that because I've been doing a lot of live streaming lately where I'm playing games, talking about crypto with the community and things like that. And this conversation comes up a lot, so I decided I'd make a video about it and just kind of show you guys what I'm talking about here. So let's just take a look at the GTX 1080 Ti. Let's say you got a 1080 Ti. And now, mind you, this is the NiceHash profitability calculator, so this is what you're going to get on NiceHash, but I find this calculator to actually be pretty dead on, regardless of what pool you're on. It's pretty similar, maybe off by a few cents here or there, but for the most part, pretty dead on. So the daily income of a 1080 Ti is about 70 cents on NiceHash, and it also depends on what you're mining at the moment, and it's going to switch from time to time, of course, but the electricity cost for somebody paying 10 cents a kilowatt, and most people honestly pay more than that, but that's kind of an average. Here in Arizona, where I am in the winter, I'm paying only 8.3 cents a kilowatt. But in the summer, I'm paying about 13 cents a kilowatt. And you also have to realize that if you go over a certain amount of electricity with your electric company, sometimes the rates can go 14, 15 cents a kilowatt and go up a few cents. So it can be even more, particularly if you have a big operation. You're going to be going over that little limit. Almost kind of like an ISP, how if you go over a terabyte or if you go over whatever your ISP gives you, they still give you the service, but it's just going to cost you more per, 50 gigabytes or whatever. So the electricity cost at 10 cents a kilowatt is 60 cents a day, and your profit is then 10 cents a day. So the GTX 1080 Ti is still pretty expensive. So here we are on Newegg, and we're looking at the RTX 2080 Ti, because you might be thinking, well, if I just go out and I get myself some better graphics cards, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Or what if the market goes back up? What if Bitcoin goes back to 20,000? I'm going to be just fine. Well, we'll get to that in just a moment, but I want to show you how expensive the 2080 Ti is. We can see them for $1,600 here. Most of the time they're sold out. These are out of stock at $1,200. Pretty hard to find them, to be totally honest. Out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. Very difficult to find them. And this is just the 2080 Ti. Now, the 2080 is a little less, the 2070 is a little less, but for the most part, we want to talk about the big guns. We want to talk about those 2080 Ti's because they're going to get you the most daily cash money, right? Holy crap, that cash money, that crypto, I don't know about that, guys. So, now let's take a look. So let's say $1,200. So now let's take a look at the old 1080 Ti. If I can type correctly. Oh God, it's just so hard to type correctly. Still about $700 a piece. They didn't really go down in price. Now they did go up in price when the market in December, you guys all remember that GTX 1080 Ti is going for $1,200, $1,300 on Amazon, all sold out. And now they're everywhere. They're ubiquitous. They're just omnipresent. But still like $700 a piece. So 10 cents a day to make $700. You know what? I was going to whip out my handy dandy Microsoft calculator. Remember that only I have, that I'm contracted to, because I'm somebody. Remember, I'm like Sonny Decree. I'm somebody, right? I have an in. I have an in with Microsoft, just like Sunny Degree has an in with Genesis Mining, except they didn't give him any information or a better hash rate. But I got the Microsoft calculator, so don't look for it on your PC. You're gonna have to bust out that old calculator that your grandma has. You know what I mean, with the little solar panels on it. So just do the math. 10 cents a day for a $700 graphics card. Not particularly good, to say the least. So let's take a look at what to mine here. Oh my, I got a 1080 Ti. What should I be mining? And we're going to go ahead and calculate that. What should I be mining? Ravencoin at $1.21 a day. Wow, that's kind of good. But you know, that's going to go away immediately. And remind you, the top coin on what to mine becomes highly difficult within hours, and you actually won't get $1.21. So you're getting $1.21 now, but not for long. So I find that hard to believe, just because I doubt it. Plus, mind you, 60 cents a day for your electricity costs in your 1080 Ti, bringing that to a total of 61 total cents for your Ravencoin. And mind you, by the time you get on this, by the time you're like, oh, I'm going to switch all my rigs to Ravencoin, it's not the most profitable algorithm. Whoops. And again, I kind of doubt $1.21 a day. But let's go with it. So 61 cents, still really, really bad. Not good at all. So you might think to yourself, okay, so if the market goes back to 20,000, everything will be fine. But so let's just say that Bitcoin is at 6,000 and that 20,000, we could say that it goes to 18,000, let's say. And likely that's only going to be for a little while, because if it went up to 18,000, more than likely it's going to just get sold off the top, and then it's just going to dump right back down to a reasonable level. So thinking that it's going to go up threefold is pretty silly and likely not going to be the case. I also still have a picture, an image from somebody who basically just tore into me on a YouTube comment, saying that because I said that Bitcoin would be $25,000 by the end of the year, he was like, whoa, you only think it's going to be twice of what it was, or just less than twice of what it was, you're an idiot, yada yada. And I saved that screenshot, so in December I'm going to show you guys that screenshot, and we'll see who was right, whether I was wrong or whether he was really, really wrong, because everybody thought it was going to go to 50,000, 100,000, and I was like, no, I don't think so. You know how much market cap that would have to be, you know how much money would have to pour into Bitcoin? Highly doubt it. Will it go there someday? Maybe, but definitely not by the end of the year. Now I'm thinking more like 10, 12,000 as a bull run, maybe in December before it dumps again, tops. But either way, let's go with the fact that it's going to go to 18,000. Well, that's not going to affect the difficulty. The difficulty is going to keep going up. And in fact, that would probably make the difficulty go up even more of Bitcoin and various other coins, because they'll go up along with Bitcoin. As you can see here, the Zcash mining difficulty chart never goes down. Sure, there's a few dips here and there, but that would just be like saying, oh, look, this dip, Zcash mining difficulty is going down. It's going to be okay. Oh, look, it went back up. So it never goes down. Now taking a look at 6-month chart for Bitcoin here, never goes down, regardless of how little the S9 miner and these various other ASIC miners are making. Now, mind you, the S9 miner is not that great anymore. There are certainly way better miners out there now with like 30 terahash, but as you can see here, a negative profit of 13 cents a day if you have an S9 miner. Better hit up Genesis Mining, because that's what they have in stock, and you're going to be getting that negative 13 cents a day. You're just going to be paying them a whole bunch of money to get absolutely nothing. So I'll get to what we have to do here very, very soon. But what I'm trying to say is that even if Bitcoin went to 18,000, let's say it went threefold, and let's just call it 18,000, just for argument's sake, you know, your 1080 Ti would go up threefold. And you might think, wow, that's going to be a lot of money. No, it's not, because your profit afterwards is going to be 30 cents instead of 10 cents, which is 3 times better, but sometimes exponential increases and such and multiplicative increases are not that great, because 1 times 10 is still only 10. You know, 1 penny times 10 is still only 10 cents, and that's just not a lot. And we're adults here, and if you're adult, are you satisfied with making 30 cents a day? Are you satisfied with even making $2 a day? Probably not, because that doesn't barely even pays your electricity bill. You know, you can't even buy a hamburger anymore for $2 unless you go to that McDonald's dollar menu. Woo! Or Burger King has that sweet sale going on right now with 10 nuggets for just $1, but Burger King's nuggets are, oh God, they're really gross. I had some the other day, and they were like undercooked, and man, I ate like 2 of them, just threw them in the trash. Anyway, so let's move on here and find out what the 2080 Ti mines at. Because you might be thinking, well, if I get a 2080 Ti, isn't everything just going to be great? Isn't everything going to be just great? I'm going to be competitive again. I'm going to be better than the rest. Well, no, because you're going to be, mind you, you're going to be paying at least $1,200 for the thing. That's not even counting tax or shipping or anything like that. So $1,200 plus dollars, let's call it $1,300 at least to ship it to your place. And so this is just an Ethereum mining results from the 2080 Ti. And so as for the 2080 Ti here, we're looking at 55 megahash. Oftentimes it was 54, but we will call that an even 55 megahash. So what are we going to be making on Ethereum? Even though I don't ever recommend mining Ethereum on NVIDIA cards, and I still don't know why people do it to this day, because there's way better algorithms to mine other than just Ethereum. I seriously still have no idea why people mine Ethereum on NVIDIA cards. Now, if you have an AMD Vega series, because of the HBM2, woo-wee, those are way better on Ethereum, but NVIDIA, not so much. Stop doing that. Don't mine it on your NVIDIA cards. Come on, guys. Why do people do that? Anyway, so your hourly rate is 4 whole cents. Holy cow. And your daily rate is 91 total cents. That is saucy money, right, people? Minus 60 cents for electricity if you're paying 10 cents a kilowatt. So 31 cents a day for something you paid $1,200 for. Now, mind you, if you paid $1,200 for a 2080 Ti for gaming, and you're like, you know, I'm just gonna game, you know, and when I go to sleep at night, I'm gonna mine. Still, I would say not worth it, because mind you, this is for 24 hours of mining, right? So let's say you go to sleep, and for 12 hours a day you're gaming. And 12 hours a day you're away, whether you're at work or sleeping, whatever. Let's just call it that. Now, mind you, cut that in half. So 45 cents a day, maybe 45 and a half cents, minus 30 cents for mining for 12 hours. Now you're making very, very, very little money, okay? And plus you're cutting off your mining, so your PPLNS pool, if you happen to be on one, I would recommend a prop payout pool if you're only going to mine intermittently. If you're on a PPLNS pool, you're not even going to be getting that full 45 cents. You're going to be getting way less, because you need to be mining for like 12 hours before you even start getting your full shares on a PPLNS pool. They do vary a little bit, but I usually say 12 to 24 hours. So again, really, really, really bad. You want to pay $1,200, $1,300 for something that's going to make you like 40, 60 cents a day, maybe. Not good. Now, mind you, what to mine might have some better results, some other algorithms, not just Ethereum. So let's check another algorithm. Let's just check Zcash, for example. So Zcash, I got this handy dandy video up. Thank you, Benchmark PC Tech, for this video. The 2080 mines at 770 souls. Zcash. Now, mind you, the 1080 Ti mined at 650. And if you overclocked it, people could get them better. And I'm sure you can do just the same with the RTX 2080 Ti. But again, you're just going to be, that's just more electricity. So now it's just not 60 cents a day. Now it's, because they do use the same power. Mind you, the 1080 Ti and the 2080 Ti use virtually identically the same power. The Founders Edition use like 260 watts, and the regular ones use 250. So we'll just call that the same. So 60 cents a day. And if you overclock it, let's call that like 62 cents a day, maybe 65. So 770, and that's not the 2080 Ti. So if we just compare the old 1080 to the 1080 Ti, that's a difference of 140, so quite significant. So let's even call that 140 more. So we got 870 plus that 40, 910 souls. So let's do that. Let's do 910. For one single graphics card at 10 cents a kilowatt. Sure, why not? power is at 600 watts. That's not really true, so let's not worry about the electricity cost on Coin Wars here. Let's just worry about your income. And the daily income for that would be like 24 cents. Now, that could be totally wrong because that seems pretty bad. But again, it just goes to show it's not so good. Nothing's good. And back to, oh, if the price of crypto goes back up, I'll be making a lot more money. But that's not the case anymore. It's not going to happen. If the price of crypto tripled, you'd be getting approximately triple from your other mining, because typically other coins follow Bitcoin, and it's never exact. But if Bitcoin goes up threefold, let's just say that other crypto goes up threefold, so you're making 3 times your money. But again, it's just not enough anymore. It's not gonna happen. 3 times 24 cents is just not good. 3 times even $1 a day is just not good. And if you have a 2080 Ti, you might be making a few bucks a day. But again, you paid $1,300 for it, $1,200 for it, so it's still gonna take you like 400 days for your ROI. Now, again, with crypto, it is an investment sort of thing, so you're not going to get rich tomorrow. And there is also the idea that, okay, well, I'm mining kind of at a loss now. I'm mining not that profitable now, but if I gather all my coins and I save them for a couple years, I'll make good money. Now, that's something I agree with, but again, here's the better solution, and this is what we're getting to. This is the final thought of the video, is that what should you do? What should you do? So let's take a look at the years here real quick, and I've showed this before, this little interesting chart. And let's take a sip of Pepsi. $1,000. Good. Is that even their slogan? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I get $1,000 either way. So, 2018. Now the high was at. Now we're not going to talk about why it crashed or anything like that. The high, December 2017. The low, very early February. Okay. So let's take a look at 2016 to 2017. Bring it right there. Loading data from server. If you could load a little faster. The high in January, so a little bit later, and the low in January. So that's kind of odd that it's quite similar. Not exact, but real close, that the low is in January. And now 2016. Oh, look, a high in December and a low in January again. Let's pull it back again and see what we see. In this case, it was more like, we'll pull it back a little bit more. This case, it was more like a high in November, so it was a little bit further back. But you can see December was still pretty good, and then a low in January. And it seems like that happens every single year. So what I propose to you, and think about this objectively, go to sleep on it sort of thing. Don't do it because I said so, but rather don't trust me. Trust the charts, trust the money that you're making, and think about it objectively. Sell your graphics cards. Sell your graphics cards. Now, this isn't some kind of ploy to be like, oh, everybody's going to sell their graphics cards and now I can make more money mining. Not the case, because you turning off your difficulty, even 10,000 people turning off their graphics cards and selling them, isn't really going to make the difficulty go down. So that just goes to show. So now let's say you sell all of your 1080 Ti's for $600-700, maybe even just $500. Maybe you sell it off, a third party, and you just get $500 for it. Take that $500 and just buy Bitcoin, because you know how long it's going to take you to get $500 worth of crypto with your single 1080 Ti. And now we're talking about single graphics cards. You might have 10 of them, you might have 20 of them, and be like, well, I can get $500. But we're talking about per graphics card here. Per graphics card, not $500 getting with 20 graphics cards. So, if you have 10 graphics cards, there's $5,000. If you have 12 graphics cards, there's $6,000. If you have 13, that's $6,500. And guess what? $6,500 would get you 1 Bitcoin. So let's say that 1 Bitcoin this December goes up to 12,000. So let's say you bought a Bitcoin for an even 6,000, just for argument's sake, to make the numbers a little easier. And then Bitcoin briefly goes up to 12,000 and then dumps again. So ask yourself, what would you rather make? Would you rather be making a few dollars a day when the chart spikes up for just a couple weeks, if that, and make a few dollars a day, or would you rather sell all your graphics cards and buy one Bitcoin and then sell that Bitcoin in December, if it goes to 12,000 or 10,000, and make several $1,000s. And then when you sell that, you wait till January or early February and you rebuy it for 6,000 again when it inevitably dumps back to 6,000. And now you don't have one Bitcoin. How many Bitcoin do you have? 2 Bitcoin. So would you rather that, or would you rather be mining for 10 cents a day? Would you rather be mining for the next 3 years to accumulate $6,000? Or could you do it this winter? Ask yourself that question. Be objectionable. Be objectionable about it. You know what I mean? Think about it objectively. Think about it rationally. Are you really making any money mining anymore? Not me. Not really anybody. Even Genesis Mining, even Hashflare is going down. And they have huge operations in Iceland and stuff for the lowest electricity cost pretty much in the world, aside from maybe like China. So that's my advice to all of you, and I hope you take it to heart. I hope you sit there after this video and go, is he right or is he wrong? And it doesn't matter either way. If you say, screw you, Mr. Sacco, I'm just going to keep mining, good for you. But if you say, you know what, I think you're right. I'm only making like 30 cents a day per card, not all your cards. Don't think about it of all your cards. If you got 20 cards and you're making like $30 a day or $10 or $20 a day, and be like, well, I'm happy with that. Just know that that's because you have all those cards. And when you sell all your graphics cards and stop mining, the electricity bill is going to go down. It's going to feel real good. And you're going to have thousands of dollars from your graphics cards that you can just simply buy Bitcoin with. You can simply buy your favorite altcoin. You can simply buy XRP or whatever coin that you like or think is going to go up, and then make money at the end of the year when it goes up for the short end of the year bull run and then goes back down. Now, is there going to be a short end of the year bull run? I don't know, but there usually is just about every year. And then just about every year in January, or sometimes the beginning of February, it's at the lowest point of the year, where you can just now buy double the coin that you had in the previous year. So I hope you guys think about it, and I appreciate you guys watching, and as usual, I will see you guys next time.